Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami and my channel is Life with Dami. I am a Toronto-based YouTuber and I do lifestyle and travel vlogs. So today's video is going to be different because I will be talking about how I relocated to Canada. So I'm going to be doing about my Canada journey series in a couple more videos after this. This is going to be the first of its kind basically. So in this video, I'll be talking about why I relocated to Canada, the process I used in moving to Canada, the steps it took me to complete the moving process, or the steps it took me to move to Canada, and the various options that you have if you plan on relocating to Canada in the future. So this video is solely based on my experience and not the general Canadian experience. So I'm going to be telling you what I went through, how I did it, not that you should go ahead and do the same exact thing, but it's just going to give you an idea of what you can do if you're moving to Canada. So stay tuned and keep watching. So let's talk about my journey so far in Canada. I have been in Canada 2 years now, and so far so good. It's been up and down, but nothing too bad and everything good. First of all, I'm going to talk about why I relocated to Canada. So after I finished my undergrad in South Africa, I moved to Nigeria for my NYSC, and during my NYSC, that was when I started the process to move to Canada. My main and sole purpose of moving to Canada is, everybody says the same thing, for a better life. I moved to Canada to be able to work. I moved to Canada to be able to do everything that I desire. So traveling, because being in a country that has access to these things is just what I want. So yeah, I moved to Canada because of those reasons. And I moved to Canada in January 2021. This was still during the pandemic. However, it was just like a year after the pandemic had already started. During the peak of the pandemic, I was in Nigeria, which was in 2020, and that was when I started the process. So now, how did I start my process to move to Canada? In 2020, I started the process of researching different means of moving to Canada. There was the expressentry, federal skilled worker, and then there's the study permit, and then there's the visitor's route. But if you have a family, that's where you can get a temporary residence visa. I won't talk a lot about the various steps or the various means at which you can use in moving to Canada in this video. I will probably make another video of that, but for now I'm going to talk about my experience. So for me, I decided to go to the study route. So in 2020, I was researching schools that I wanted to study at, or schools that had the program that I wanted to take in Canada. So the program that I took was the Public Relations Corporate Communications, and I was looking for schools that offered that program. Also, I was also looking at the price, if it was too expensive and which one is more affordable. There was one other thing that I had to take note of, which was DLI institutions. I had to look for schools that were under the DLI institution, because if you study in Canada 1 or 2 years in a DLI institution, you get an open work permit after your studies for 1 or 3 years. So for me, I wanted to get an open work permit after school, so I went for a college that was under the DLI institution. So I applied to various schools, Seneca College, University of York University, different universities, and I got accepted into 2, George Brown College and Seneca College. However, George Brown wasn't really offering the exact course that I was looking for, so I decided to accept the offer from Seneca College. So Seneca College is also a DLI institution, and the program that I took was a 1-year program. Yes, I know that after 1 year I was going to get just 1 year work permit, but I took my chances either way. So I applied for the school with the hope of getting another program while I am in the country, so that I will have 2 years of study, so that it could give me 3 years open work permit. but I guess that wasn't the case. I started my studies in Nigeria because of COVID. I did it online. I did the first semester in Nigeria, and then I got my visa in December. So guys, I'm going to talk about the visa processing system and like with the steps you need to take or what you need to know before you apply for your study permit. So first of all, when you get the offer letter from the school, you'd have to pay half the tuition fee. So after the first year tuition fee before you can apply for a study permit. So when I got the offer from Seneca, they requested that I paid half my tuition fees. At that time, my tuition was 15,000 Canadian dollars. So we had to pay half or more than half. I think we had to pay 60% or 55% of the fees before I was able to apply for my visa. So we did the payment, and then they gave me a letter that I used in putting in my application. So they're like, when you put in your application on the IRCC website, they'll give you a list of documents that you need to upload to back up your applications. I'm going to put the list of documents on the screen so that you guys are aware of what I had to upload in order to get my study permit approved. So I will also detail it in the description box below. The checklist, I will call it a checklist. So the checklist that I had to work with in order to submit my visa application was, the first thing was the immigration form. It's going to be on the website once you pass the questionnaire to get to the place where you upload your documents on the IRCC website. So the immigration form, I had to fill it and upload it, and then they requested for my photo ID. They also requested for my passport page and some other documents, supporting documents like my financial status. So because my studies was being sponsored by my parents, I used their bank statement. And you also have to upload the offer letter from the school and the proof of payment that you've made a payment for the first semester towards your tuition. So those were like some of the major documents that I can remember that I uploaded. Like I said, I would still put the list of documents in the description below that you might need. So now the wait begins. I applied for my study permit in February, and school started in August. This was 2020. So I was waiting from February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I still did not receive my study permit. September, October, nothing. November, nothing. So the only reason why, So the only reason why my application took that long was because I did the application in February when the pandemic started. So everything shut down at the beginning of 2020. But in Nigeria, we were still up and running, but in other countries, they began to close a lot of things. So I wasn't aware of that. And that was when I put in my study permit application. A lot of people have done applications after that and they got it within 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, But for mine, it was delayed because of that period. Finally, I get my study permit in December, last week in December. And then I buy my flight ticket and off I went in January the 4th. So I arrive in Canada and then at the immigration. So if you're returning to the country and you have like the Canadian PR card or the Canadian passport, you just go through the basic immigration side and into the country. But if you're coming into the country for the first time or you're coming on a visitor's visa, they take you to another side where you have to answer to the immigration officers and tell them why you're coming into the country, and if they need to issue you any documents, they issue you at that side. However, for me, I was coming to the country for the first time on a study permit. So they took us to the other immigration officers and they looked at my document, asked me what I was coming to do, and they issued me a paper which was now the study permit. So the one I had on my passport was a study visa, the one that allows me to travel in and out of the country without any questions. However, the paper that they gave me at the immigration border was the permit that I needed to continue studying in Canada. Finally, I'm in Canada. It's exciting. I go to my Airbnb, but bear in mind, I arrived during the pandemic. So it was quarantined for 14 days. It was nice. It wasn't nice, I won't lie, because I couldn't do anything. But then after the quarantine, everything after that to now has been good. So I will be talking more about the process of moving to Canada. I will give you details about how you can apply to relocate to Canada, what you need to have, what you need to know in other videos. However, this video was just solely dedicated to my process of how I migrated to Canada and what I did and what you need to know if you're going to be migrating to Canada through this process. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you gained a little bit, or you got some knowledge about how you can move to Canada on a study visa or for studies, or how you can relocate to Canada for studies. All of them makes the same sense. All of them say the same thing, but it is what it is. So yeah, thank you guys for staying to the very end of this video. I know it's a little bit short, but I wanted it to be short and detailed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this a thumbs up, share and comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching, and for my new subscribers, thank you guys for coming. And if you haven't subscribed to my video yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button down below and stay tuned for more content. Bye guys.